Hi, thanks, Trevine. That was beautifully done. I think Trevine probably gave more more information on our financial performance than any other company I think I've ever listened to, giving a financial overview. And I really love the explanation about just the movement in the earnings per share and how that was broken down 2023 relative to 2022. So thanks again, team. Of course, they'll be on the call after this segment is completed. So any questions, we can definitely you can definitely pose those questions to any member of the team. So 2023 was again a record year in terms of profitability. All of the key metrics that we track have been trending in the right direction. And of course, you're wondering what's for 2024, and we know that the reward for hard work is harder work. The reward for hard work is harder work. So we will 2024 the targets remain as aggressive as more aggressive than they were in 2023. Our aim this year is to aggressively grow our loan portfolio, and we have pretty much implemented a number of strategies that we'll be using to ensure that we are able to realize that increased growth and not only grow the portfolio, but still ensure that we're still maintaining a particular level of quality that will still maximize the return that our shareholders would have been anticipating during 2024. So again, the growth, we've seen a tremendous increase in the demand for our solutions, our products, our solutions, and we will capitalize on that. The intention is to grow the loan portfolio to an extent that is more than 50% of what it was during 2023, and we have on board Mayberry Investment Limited, who are our funding partners, our financial advisors to some extent as it relates to how we'll go about doing the funding. Of course, you'd have seen where we got approval from DBJ in the latter part of 2023. So we have those funds coming in along with devising strategies as to how we will execute on our fundraise during 2024. And with the demand for products at an all-time high, and a partner on board that will help us with the funding, then our strategy now has to ensure that we're growing the loan book with quality loans. So the focus for 2024 will continue to be on strategic partnerships and just being innovative in terms of our products, our existing products, how we alter them to suit or to tailor them to the needs of our customers, and how we go about innovating and developing new products that, again, are not just a loan product, but actually doing our market research and identifying what the needs are and ensure that we're tailoring a solution to those needs. Our team continues to explore the opportunities in the industry. We continue to look at industries that are upcoming and have a good prospect of growth, and we're ensuring that we're leveraging those opportunities to increase our market share during 2024. And of course, with growth, we have to consider it's really about scaling and how we go about doing this. As we expand, we will also place a lot of emphasis on increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of our operations to handle the increased demand that comes with the growth, as well as to maintain the quality of our asset. And in this case, we're really talking about our loan portfolio. So we will focus on automating during 2024. One of our focus, which we have already started, is really to automate some of the recurring internal processes and to implement solutions that will not only enhance the turnaround time and enhance the customer experience, but effectively this will result in more robust and putting in place basically a more robust system when it comes to compliance and just the framework that is a really big deal for us. That's like a core aspect of our operation for 2024. So that is pretty much in summary some of the things that we're looking at during 2024. And of course, I'll just stop here because I know that there will be some questions as it relates to our outlook, and then we can always deliberate and go into those afterwards.
Thank you so much, Kenroy and team. As always, it's a very informative call with you all, and it's always a pleasure to host you. So I will not delay. We have a lot of questions to go through. So I'm inviting the rest of the team to return so that we can get started with those questions. Before that, though, I believe there's a clarification that needs to be made, and I'll hand over to David for that.
All right, so the clarification that we're speaking of is our non-performing loans for Ultra. So we were obviously reporting as at Q4, which was that 3%. Overall for the year, our NPL sat at 0%. So we just want to be completely transparent with everyone. And so as we push into 2024, our aim is to maintain it at 0% at all times throughout the entire year. So just hope that clears it up for everybody.
Okay, great. Thank you for that, David. Let's get straight into the questions. First one, what is preventing Dolla from having a consistent quarter-by-quarter performance, looking at your Q3 and comparing with Q4 results?
All right, so that one sounds like a question for me. If we look at our Q3 for 2023, we would have had a profit before tax of 105. Q4 we landed at 114. So it's not I wouldn't say it's inconsistent. It's a marginal movement, but you will see movements in the quarter by quarter because what we're doing is growing. Particularly in 2023, though, we were very consistent in terms of our sales. We were lending at a consistent rate each quarter, which really meant that the quarter-on-quarter profits would be maintained. But if you look at Q1, 2, 3, and 4 and compare that to Q3 and 4 of 2022, you would have seen a major movement upward. So in 2022, we would have seen the funds coming in at the latter part of the year, and you would have seen income increasing and profits increasing in Q3 and Q4 of 2022. Now in 2023, we were more consistent with the funds, consistent with the lending, and you'll see more consistent profits. So I wouldn't say it's inconsistent. It's a marginal movement, which is no cause for concern because we were very consistent with higher sales than we did in 2022.
And I think that speaks well to the strategy of the team and the execution of the team. So it's not so much that you don't know when the funds are coming in. It's actually a good thing to have such consistency across quarters. All right, next question is from Simon Johnson. Can Dolla provide an update on their business outside of Jamaica?
So I'll just take the finance part, and I don't know if Kenroy, if you want to add anything outside of that. But as at the end of the year, we would have seen where Ultra had just about $316 million in terms of income, which took them to just about $129 million in terms of profits before tax. Ghana likewise had $86 million in terms of income, and that's in Jamaican dollars, which took them to about $18 million in terms of profit. So as at the end of the year, Guyana would have represented just about 5% of our loan book and Ultra 30%. And Ultra keeps growing because the business is so lucrative and doing so well. And we're really proud of that. So Ultra is really taking the stage at this point for Dolla.
Kenroy, anything to add to that?
No, that was a good summary by Traveen.
Okay, wonderful. So our next question again is from Simon. Ultra has been growing rapidly, a very innovative way to provide funding to that niche. What are the plans for Ultra? Will Dolla spin off Ultra? So I think that sounds like David and Kenroy.
Plans for Ultra at the moment, Simon, and everyone is basically to just continue to grow our loan book as best as possible. I know we had mentioned in the last call, that we were looking to expand into other regions, but I think our focus right now is, because of the demand that we have here, is to really perfect everything that we are doing here and continue to grow it, and ensure that it will be completely sustainable before we then take the capital that we have and the cash that we have to go and lend in other countries. We definitely want to ensure that we've fully satisfied the Jamaican market.
All right.
Right, that's correct, Renee. So it's really about the having the capital and ensuring that where we see the opportunity, we are leveraging those opportunities to increase the value to shareholders. And at this point in time, there's a lot of demand for the service for Ultra here in Jamaica. Not to say that in the future, we in the medium term, we'll not look at some of those strategies, but for now, we're just doing what we do best, which is lending in a market that we fully understand and have done really well in.
Understood. Thank you for that. Simon again is asking, given the room for further consolidation within the MFI sector, and that's that microfinance for our audience, is Dolla considering any M&A for current competitors or just loan portfolios? If so, what's the timeline? I've been waiting for this question because I knew it was coming.
Well, the truth is, thanks, Renee. Thanks, Simon, for that question. The truth is, we have had some discussion in the past about acquisitions, of course, are growing the loan portfolio by that mean. And of course, with the regulation of the industry, we did anticipate that there will be some amount of activities to in terms of acquisitions based on just some of the regulations that comes with being that comes under the Microcredit Act. Over the last year, I believe we would have looked at entities. We would have gone in some cases 6 weeks, 8 weeks into doing some due diligence and looking at different companies. But at the end of the day, again, it's really about what brings the greatest value to the shareholders. And at this point in time, we are seeing where it's easier for us to grow the business organically just based on the level of demand that we're seeing for our services. So at this point in time, I can confirm that we are not necessarily seeking acquisition opportunities. And again, it's based on our business and how you see us reporting our figures, it's still a little bit challenging to find a loan book that aligns with our portfolio and our growth objectives. So at this point in time, based on the demand, we're focusing on expanding the loan portfolio and doing it with the opportunity that we have coming at us through organic growth. And that's really on the back burner for us during 2024. Not to say that if an opportunity comes up that we see will add great value to the business and to our shareholders, we'll not look at it. But for now, we're actually just leveraging the opportunity that we see for growth, which is through organic lending.
And just to put some context into that, what we don't want to do is to purchase a loan portfolio or a business where the financial health of that portfolio is less than ours. If we do that, then you'll see a negative impact on the NPL and our numbers, whereby if we use those funds to on-lend, we'll see better value and return on those funds. So that's something that we've been evaluating, and we find that our portfolio is very healthy compared to others in the market, and we don't want to dilute that.
And that is completely understandable. Thank you for that transparency and explanation as always. Before we go to the next question, just to rewind a little bit, the second part of Simon's previous question was asking about a possible spin-off of Ultra from Dolla Financial. Is there anything that you'd like to comment regarding that particular part of the question?
If I may take that one, Renee, Simon, sorry for not clarifying the second part, but if I may take that one, again, it's all about what really adds value for our shareholders. And when we look at it right now, Ultra represents about 30% of Dolla Financial. We are assessing, and of course, this is something that would be an ongoing discussion, maybe at the board level, or at a strategic level. But at the current moment, being representing such significant portion of Dolla Financial in terms of loan portfolio profitability, you really don't necessarily want to take away from your shareholders at Dolla, in a sense, to bring Ultra, to spin off Ultra as a standalone company. So it's really, at the end of the day, it's really about what really adds more value to the company, to the business, and just the growth objectives of the company. And that's something that we'll continue to look at. But for now, we're really focused on growing Ultra as a part of Dolla.
Thank you for the clarification. Next question, Dolla CSR and general marketing. Oh, this is not a question, it's a commendation. And general marketing has been notable. Good work on that. So Tashoni, that's for you and team. Brand visibility and presence has been continuous. Great work, keep it up. Next question from our community. What's the status of the approvals being sought from BOJ for new branches? I see employment ads for locations that we got no news on yet.
All right, I'll take that one as well. So the new branches, we would have opened, the last branch we opened was our Falmouth branch in February of 2023. We now have a network of 10 branches that really covers the entire, we are in 9 parishes, but at the same time, we are actually servicing customers in all 14 parishes. And this is because we have mobile officers who are really out there marketing our products and ensuring that the customers are actually being satisfied. And in doing that too, we have been able to look at our data and see what's driving some of the sales and where they're coming from, and looking at where we can put a potential branch. So the process of setting up a location, as we've said in the last 2 or 3 earnings call, is a little bit different, and we are still awaiting some fine tuning to those things from the BOJ to ensure that it's a little easier to set up. But while we do that, it still gives us an opportunity to, again, really evaluate where we are, where the demand is, and where we need to establish a physical presence. But even without establishing a branch in Clarendon or in Portland, I've seen a lot of applications actually coming in from those places because of the fact that we have officers in each of those areas still servicing those customers. So the plans for expansion, we may be looking at 1 or 2 locations during 2024, not committing or confirming that those will actually happen, because again, if we are able to still meet the needs of the customers without having a physical shop set up, then we can still proceed with that.
Understood. So Dolla Financial Panama and Dolla Financial Belize are legit Insta pages. Has BOJ approval been sought for these locations also, or is the focus still on Jamaica?
The focus remains on Jamaica. I think we clarified that earlier. So the focus is based on the demand. We will be able to deliver better results by lending the funds in a market which we already operating. We know the space, we understand our customers here. And while we evaluate and look at other markets for 2024, we will definitely be leveraging the opportunity in our local market.
So I think it's an opportunity to speak to those 2 pages, though, the Panama and Belize Instagram pages. I think Tashoni would be great to chime in here. What is the strategy behind having those pages, or why are they up and running if we're not focusing there right now?
I don't think those pages are up and running. When Dolla started, we would have been looking at markets that would have been lucrative. That would be, markets that we could enter into. And of course, you know how Instagram works. If you don't secure the name, then it goes away. So it's just a part of our ambitions to get into new markets and to secure the pages. But those are not up and running just yet. But it's not off the table, but just not up and running.
Thank you. All right, next question. Is Dolla shifting more cash into the ultra loan portfolio strategically?
Yes, so as we see the demand in ultra, then yes, the funds are pushed there. We really push funds where we see more demand and more value for money. So where the demand is at ultra, then definitely. And what's good too is that ultra is a mainly secured loan portfolio. And from a business perspective, a collections perspective, and a profit perspective, because we have our ECL, then strategically it would be a good idea to move more funds there. But not to say that we're stifling Dolla.
Of course not. All right, another community question. On the Mayberry Investors Briefing, Kenroy mentioned employing AI. Is this currently being used in the customer evaluations, and are there plans to expand its use?
So since I mentioned that, let me just take that one as well. So the intention is to, as I've spoken to in the outlook, is to automate a lot of the things that we do, which will include some amount of AI. So we are not currently using AI to evaluate loan applications at the moment, because right now we're focused on building out our loan management system in a way that it can accommodate what's needed to get the AI up and running. So it's not something that will happen tomorrow, because these things take time and it's a phased approach. So right now we're perfecting the system, putting in place all that we need to ensure that we have that automation in place. So it will start internally before we can link that system to a scenario where customers are able to know, just go on our website, go on WhatsApp, go on Instagram and do their loan application. So it's really about building out internally first, which will take some time, and then we will move on to the next phase. But those are just some of our significant, some of the more significant things that we're focusing on for 2024. And the hope and aim is that by the end of the year, we'll be at that point where a customer can benefit from the use of the AI.
Sounds quite progressive. The company had announced plans to set up a branch in Maypen and other areas. Is it that it has slowed down plans for branch expansion in the interim, or is it due to regulatory delays? I think you would have addressed that regarding your expansion. So we can move to the next question. Does the company envision listing a portion of Ultra? Again, we spoke about this, but we do want to acknowledge that the question was received again. All right, so let's talk about your board invitations now. So there are 3 persons who were invited to Dolla's board, and they're yet to be approved or actually initiated into the board. So is it that the BOJ is yet to approve their nominations to the board?
So
Right,
for
so-
this one, oh, go ahead, Kenroy.
No, go ahead, Shareen, that's fine.
There's a process by the BOJ, of course, to get nominated persons fit and proper before they can join the board of a microcredit company. So everything has been submitted, and we are awaiting a response from the BOJ.
Thank you. Short and direct. You discussed at the JSE conference the plan to grow the loan book even higher this year, and how the DBJ facility came with certain restrictions. How are your fundraising efforts going to structure the most appropriate means to grow the company with all this debt and its covenants?
All right. So before the decision was made to do the fundraise, we would have had to do an extensive exercise to map out the budget for the year, which includes strategically raising funds at different points in time to ensure that the covenants are not impacted. So that was done, and we understand that where we are raising funds at certain points in time, the covenants would have been X and Y. And from that exercise, we understand how much we can raise and when, to just ensure that we are within the parameters of the covenants, not just from DBJ, but also or other bond rates also had covenants as well. So we are planning properly to ensure we are in line.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. So we do have several questions about dividend payments, and the general question is this: can Dolla truly afford to be paying dividends so often, seeing that cash is needed for the business?
So I guess that one is mine also. we would have paid a substantial amount of dividends in 2023, to the tune of just about 164 million. I believe that's what we would have declared throughout the year. You see where we are paying the dividends and we still remain profitable. So yes, we wouldn't be declaring and paying dividends if it would have an adverse effect on the company, on the profits and the returns. However, we do note the concern, and there was also a discussion by Gary earlier this week that it may be worth our while to withhold the payment of dividends to such a large extent and reinvest in the company, and that's something that we consider every time we declare dividends. So we continue to consider that before making dividends to ensure that we are doing the best by the company and deciding whether or not this is the best use of funds at the time. So it's something that we do consider before we make dividends.
Great, thank you. Courtney is asking, how is Dolla Guyana doing? Kenroy, do you want to take that?
No, I'll take that one. So Trevin would have already given an update on Dolla Guyana. The loan portfolio now represents about 5% of our overall profits, and the loan portfolio in Guyana represents about 5% of the consolidated portfolio, and the profitability was somewhere about $30 million for 2023, which again, since Guyana has been in operation, it has been quite a profitable venture, and we continue to do well in that market. I mean, despite all the right now we are kind of just taking note of the geopolitical tension that's there, and actually allowing Guyana to just grow and continue to operate with the existing cash that is there, and not necessarily pump additional cash in the business while we just look at what's happening and just pay more attention to Jamaica again, where there is really a great demand for products here. So Guyana continues to operate. It's still a profitable entity, but in light of some of the things that's happening in terms of the landscape, we will just continue to monitor while we continue to operate profitably in that market.
Thank you for that additional context, Kenroy. Does Ultra create a concentration risk by clients? David, over to you.
No, I think Ultra, yes, Ultra is necessary.
The audio seems to be a little bit off.
Yes.
Yes, I think.
So maybe I'll take it, David. In terms of concentration risk, we're aware that that's something that can happen, especially with the large loans that go out from Ultra. But what we have done is we have policies in place, especially coming from Dolla as well, whereby we look at the loan, we look at the sector that it comes from and the type of collateral, and we ensure that before we accept that loan, that we evaluate it for concentration risk. So that's something that we do before we do an issuance of the loan.
All right. So we're going to take 2 more questions before we close, and we'll ask our audience that if you have any additional questions that were not addressed in this Q&A segment, then please do put them in the comments and we will share them with the Dolla team for them to address it later on. So Simon is asking, what is driving the NPL numbers?
All right, so I'll take that one, guys. All right, so aside from the impressive and the assertive collection team and the strategies that we employ, it all starts from even the prospective stages of an application. It's all due to the adjudication or verification processes, the approval, every single thing from just meeting the client through to the collection of the debt itself, really and truly.
Short and sweet, Kurt. I love it.
Not too much of our secret.
Yeah, as I would say, we don't want to reveal too much of our secret sauce.
Right, you have to keep it sauce. All right. And our final question is again from Simon. Are there any plans to combine strengths with Michaela? He's not sure if that's how it's spelled. But are there any plans to combine strengths there?
I wouldn't be able to comment on that at this point in time, Simon. I know that we have a major player on board who already owns a microfinance company, and that company has also is also a regulated entity, is now under the Microcredit Act. So that one I would not be able to provide much update on. I think that would be more at a strategic level. That if there's any decision to kind of partner or do any transaction with that company, then we let you know as soon as that happens. But at this point in time, there's none.
Okay, thank you for that, and thank you to the entire team for being here with us this morning and for sharing in such a transparent way as always. I wanted to also commend you as a team for always focusing on your team. It is a thread that has been very noticeable in all your conversations, all your interviews. There's always an emphasis on the team at Dolla. So congratulations to you for being a strong team. And as you seek to expand and build your team, congratulations also on being able to maintain a culture that represents who you are as a company. That's a big accomplishment, and it's not often highlighted. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to highlight that here. Great job on that. So with that, we do end our Q&A segment, and I will hand over to Kenroy to make your closing remarks to your current and potential investors, as well as media and anyone else who may watch this video in the future. Over to you.
Thanks, Renate. I think we have addressed all the questions, and we went through quite a lot in terms of the company, what we have done in the past, and where we are projected to go in the future. And this is a company that is still young. It's a very young company on the stock exchange, but it's still one that it really stands out when compared to other players in the industry. When you look at just the quality of the loan portfolio, when you look at our efficiency ratio and how we have grown over time. We have companies that are probably 2-3 times our size in terms of loan portfolio, which have not been recording the level of profit that we have. And as you said, Renate, it's really about the fact that Dolla has a team that is really committed. It's a team that really works hard, and the objectives of the team are simply aligned to the company. We are our customer, we represent our customers, and we kind of understand and know what they are about. We know what they want, and we will continue to innovate and just develop solutions that will take our customers to the next step on their journey of growth. We focus a lot on businesses, which has a ripple effect on just economic growth and development. As we develop, every business that we develop, it's a contribution to the growth of the country, the growth of the economy. And in closing, I just want to invite our customers out there, persons who are out there just needing some financial advice. I'm not saying that everyone who comes to Dolla will be able to get a loan, but at the end of the day, we are a company that really looks at the small man the same way that we look at the big man. You understand? So whether you're a small shop owner or you're a medium-sized entity, at the end of the day, when you walk through the doors of Dolla Financial, or when you do that initial contact with any one of our members, it's really about finding the best solution that will help to take you on the next step of your journey. For 2024, it's all about growth for the company. We have done well year over year. 2021, 2022, 2023, every year we've seen significant growth in the key numbers for the company. And for 2024, we will just be as aggressive. We are just as committed to ensure that we deliver the best service, we deliver the best results for our shareholders, and we ensure that we are compliant with all other regulations, and just have a robust policy in place to ensure the company remains viable and strong.